What's up, you guys? It's AD here, and today I'm bringing you a Genshin Impact video. This time it's going to be geared not towards whales, but towards free-to-play and, players just starting out on their Genshin Impact journey so that you can maximize your efficiency in the game and not hit some major road bumps down the line. I think that you're going to find a lot of value in these tips, so go and destroy that comment section, hit the like button, subscribe, you know the whole deal, and without further ado, let's just hop right in. Tip number one. There's a phrase in real estate, and it's used in a bunch of places, but it's very common in real estate that you make your money when you buy. And what it essentially means is if you go and buy a house, if you make a good deal on that house, you're making your money. You really make your money when you buy the house. Okay, that initial investment, setting up that good foundation, is what allows you to generate wealth from that property. And if you go and you buy a crappy deal, it's incredibly hard to make, to grab a diamond out of like poop, right? Like it's very difficult. And the same thing applies to Genshin Impact with the gacha rates and rolling. If you don't set yourself up on a good foundation at the start, you can still do all of the content in the game with the characters that you're just given, but you're probably not going to enjoy it as much. It might be a little harder. And you might just not want to play because you might not like the game as much because you're not playing the characters you want to play. So you need to reroll. You should reroll. If you're starting out just now, or you're, AR 20, even AR 30, it doesn't hurt to reroll your account and get somebody that you actually like, especially a 5-star. My recommendation, try and reroll your account so that. And for those of you who don't know what rerolling is, it's just like making a new account essentially. Reroll your account, try and get a 5-star, and try and get an additional healer other than the ones that you're given. Try and get a Kiki or a Bennett or something along those lines, or try and get one of the really strong 4-stars, a Ning Wong, something that's going to really help push your gameplay along. And the reason why is it's just the rates are so low. Don't spend money. Obviously, this is like kind of like a free-to-play guide, but it's just the chance of you actually getting one after you've already established your account is incredibly low. And there's a pity system, but it takes forever to get to that if you're not actually spending money on this game. And you can apply that to when a new banner comes out. Say you don't like the Klee banner. Wait a little while. Wait, 15 more days until the next banner drops. It might be better. And then reroll your account, and you will find that you can get to where your current account is so much faster. And that would be my first tip, especially for new players or free-to-play players that are just having a rough time of it. Reroll, take the time. It might take you 2 hours to reroll a couple of accounts, but it's going to increase the velocity of your gameplay significantly. So that's tip number one. Let's head over to tip number two. Tip number two, invest in your healers. Invest in your healers early, okay? It doesn't seem like it's a big deal. You can do a large amount of the content in this game without healing, right? You can power through it. You can dodge. But the only real reoccurring endgame activity that we have right now that's significant and ramping up in difficulty is Spiral Abyss, right? And you're going to need healers for Spiral Abyss. You're gonna need them. And what you don't want to happen, especially as a free-to-play player, remember, you are tight on resources, especially on level up resources, everything. What you don't want to happen is you get to AR 35, AR 40, and you want to go and do some Spiral Abyss, and you straight up can't because you need to create 2 teams. For Spiral Abyss, in order to get past floor 6, it requires 2 teams. So you're going to want to have 2 healers, or you're going to have like a healer and a Geo character, something along those lines in order to actually progress. So I believe the game starts you off with you can pull a Noelle from the beginner banner, and she is technically she's a healer, guys. Her where is it? Her breastplate heals party members. Okay, when Noelle's normal and charge attack hit a target, regenerates HP. And then I believe Barbara is also free to play. You are going to want to level up your healers. Bennett is another great one. If you have a Ning Wong, she's not a healer, but the Geo Crystallized Elemental reaction provides a lot of sustain and blocks a lot of damage, so it's kind of like pseudo healing, and that can be very useful for Spiral Abyss as well. Now, I would just highly suggest invest in your healers, guys. Invest in your healers, even if you don't think you need to. You don't have to fully max them out, but at least have a decent build on them, have decent weapons, have decent artifacts, just level up their talents a little bit, because you don't want to be left with 2 Spiral Abyss teams and your healers can't do anything for you. And it's incredibly frustrating. Even as a person who likes to whale like myself, it's a place you don't want to be, and it can really cripple your progression. So do it early, do it consistently, so that you don't hit that wall. And that it kind of applies to my first point as well, where when you're rerolling, if you get like a Barbara, or if you get like a Kiki, or if you get a Bennett or a Ning Wong or some kind of a healer and your DP and a main DPS, it's going to significantly increase your ability to play down the line, right? It's going to just accelerate your gameplay. And so I would definitely keep an eye out for those characters. That's it for tip number 2. Tip number 3. Schedule your farming. Schedule it. It sounds silly, but you only have so much resin in a day. And when you wake up in the morning, it might not all necessarily be refreshed, especially as a free-to-play player where you don't want to be spending primo gems on your rerolls, on your refreshes, or your fragile resin. You need to plan your farming accordingly. Your talent materials, they change depending on the day where they can be actually farmed. So like for Klee, for example, the only days where I can actually farm her talent materials are on Mondays and Thursdays. So if I go over here, you can see this Guide to Freedom, Monday, Thursday. Sunday is like a free-for-all day. You're not going to get anything done that day in regards to targeting specific talent resources because everything is available. And certain ones, the same thing goes on Saturdays. So what do you do? Well, look, how many things can we spend resin on? We can spend them on different domains, artifacts, things of that nature. What you want to do is take a stock of your team, look at your teams, and see when their talent resources fall, because you're limited in the amount of days you can actually farm them. And so if you run out of resin because you went and got some Crimson Witch gear on a Monday, you're going to have to wait until Thursday before you level up Klee again. Or you're going to, when it comes to, if you go and do it on a Thursday, you're going to have to wait all the way until next Monday before you can reliably farm these talent things. And as a free-to-play player, your time is valuable. So don't do that, right? Go and look, and I can put like an actual schedule of things in the description, but go and look at your adventure handbook, go and look at all your characters and see, okay, what days can I actually farm things and which days should I be farming other things? Maybe because Saturday and Sunday is just a free-for-all day for talents and weapon weapon upgrade materials, maybe that's the day when you go and you farm for your Thundering Fury or your Thunder Soother that are there every single day. And your Mondays and Thursdays are the only days when you're farming your talent materials, because that's the only days you can farm them. This is really important because you don't want to be struggling with not being able to level something up and being hard stuck because your abilities aren't doing any damage. You want to maximize your efficiency in farming and your resin usage, and scheduling it is a very important part of that. So make sure you go and look at all of your characters that you want to level up, and you're making sure that those individual things are scheduled out so you can see when the gaps are for you to actually farm artifacts. Fourth and final tip is grab every single ascension resource that you possibly can as you're progressing through the world. regardless of if you think you need it or not. And what I mean by ascension material is, let's see if I can actually go and show you. So Klee, for example, needs 60 of these Philanimo mushrooms. Well, these Philanimo mushrooms, they only spawn in 3 areas of the map. About 20 spawn here, about 20 spawn in Springvale, and about like 8 spawn in Dawn Winery. And so that's 40, roughly 48, maybe 50. They're on a 2-day respawn timer. 2 days. Meaning, like, not just like, oh, I can wait in-game time. No, it's like full 48-hour cycles. Like 2 to 3 days you're going to be waiting for them to respawn. So these Philanimo mushrooms, if you go and you pick them all and say, I needed, for the previous thing, to get Klee to level 80, I needed 45 of them. That's one whole reset of shrooms. So if I pick this one, it's not coming back until, what's today? Today's Monday. It's not coming back until at least Wednesday. Now, there are ways to circumvent this. You can hop into other friends' games if they'll allow you to leech off of them, but you might not have any other friends playing this game, or they might have already farmed them. My suggestion is, from the jump, so that you never have to run into this problem, look at your ascension materials and go farm them just as soon as you start. If you're already playing the game, after you watch this video, go and pick up every single one of those ascension materials that you possibly can. These ones, they just take a very long time to respawn. Okay? Same thing goes with Diluc. When you see these small lamp grasses, pick up a small lamp grass anytime you see it. Go and look at the Genshin interactive map, which I will put in the description, and you can filter it by whatever one of these materials is. So these core lapis, this takes forever to respawn, and it's a pain in the neck to farm. It's only basically in like 2 areas of the map. If you're playing Keqing, you're gonna want to get these. Even if you're not playing her, in the future, if you manage to pull her, you do not want to have to wait like literally 3 reset cycles in order to max them up to the maximum ascension. So as you're going through the game, if you can do this like from the jump, say it takes you, I don't know, as a free-to-play player, say it takes you a month to get to AR 40 without using resin resets. If you're going and you're clearing the map of these ascension materials every 2 days, by the time you actually hit AR 40, if you manage to pull 5-star, you're going to have like a massive stack, a stockpile of these ascension materials to use. And it's very important that you pick these up, because there's literally, other than hopping into another person's game and leeching off of them, there is no workaround. You are just screwed. Like there's no, like, you just have to wait, and it can really suck. It can really suck. And the same thing goes with these bosses too. Make sure that like these Fatui skirmishers and the Whopper flowers and your ruin guards, every single day, click on this, click navigate, and find out where it is. Go and kill it, and then do the same thing. Click the navigate, and you can do that about 7 times before the entire thing actually goes on respawn for 24 hours. Do that so that when you get further in the game and you need these resources, you have a stockpile of them. Because again, it's another thing where you're going to have to wait a long period of time before you can actually pick up those resources again and kill those enemies. That's it for me, guys. I really hope you found this to be insightful. I'm sure plenty of you have already seen some of this stuff, but if you're new or you're free to play, like I know these will be valuable to you. And I'm saying this as someone, I'm at AR 42, and this is stuff I wish I was doing from the jump, but I have to do it now. And I know that it will save you time. I guess my last thing would be, don't spread out your teams too thin. Pick your main teams and focus on them. Do not go and spread out to a bunch of them, because you will run out of level up materials. And that's it, guys. That's really it. I hope these helped you out. Please let me know down below what you want to see next. And I hope you guys are having a good day. Adam D,